Hello and welcome. This is Michelle with PaperStampInk. Thanks for stopping by my channel today, where you'll receive tips, techniques, and tutorials to inspire you in your own paper crafting projects. If that sounds like something that you'd enjoy, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and then tap the bell and you'll get notifications whenever I post new videos. So today I wanted to do a fun fold masculine card for you guys. Quick and easy. I know sometimes we struggle with doing masculine cards. Well, one great way to do that is to let the paper make the statement for us and use simple sentiments. So today, let's go ahead and get started with our paper, stamps, and ink. So I have a piece of our classic Garage Designer Series paper, and as all of them, they are double-sided. I love that Stampin' Up! Will give us a lot of times a tone on tone or almost a solid shade on one side and then a very fun pattern on the other side. So it allows for a lot of versatility. You know, some of them do have bright and bold patterns on both sides, but quite often you'll at least find some that do have this more subdued pattern. So it gives us so much variety in our papers. And then of course they tell us what matches with those papers as far as colors. So I've got my real red layer, and let's go back to this one and give you dimensions here. This piece is cut to 3 7/4 by 5 inches. The real red is cut at 4 by 5 1/4, and then I have my basic black at 4 1/4 by 11. Scored at 5 1/2 to give us a top folding card. So those dimensions give me a 1/4 inch off all around, which leaves me with a nice 1/8 inch border on all 4 sides. So that's kind of my standard measurements that I use, my go-to a lot of times. Then because this is a darker cardstock, I've got a piece of Whisper White that is 4 by 5 1/4 for the inside so that we have room to write. And then I have a scrap piece of white, Whisper White again, for stamping our sentiment. This is a fun fold, so I have a scrap piece that I picked up of my Tranquil Tide, and this piece happens to be 1 1/2 inches by 4 1/4 inches. This is longer than needed. You could probably go with a piece that is even as short as 3 inches. You are going to score that at 2 1/4 inches. So this is what's going to fold over onto the front part of our card, and you just need an inch or so on the bottom, on the other side there, to adhere to the back of your card, or the actually the inside of your card, so that we can get that fold. And then I used a scrap of our Tranquil Tide that I had, another scrap, and punched out a 2-inch circle using the 2-inch circle punch. If you don't have punches, I really recommend adding those to your craft room. You know, pick them up one at a time as you make orders if you can't get multiples of them at a time. And then think about layering. So I use the 2-inch punch for this piece. We are going to use for our sentiment, we're going to use the 1 3/4 inch punch. The nice thing about the design on these stamps, besides just their functionality, is how you can store them. So they do store shut. You release with this latch when you're ready to store it. Push down, close that latch, and you've got a nice stamp that are punch, sorry, not stamp, punch, that you can then stack with your other punches. So if you'd like, you can go ahead and keep them on your shelves like this. I prefer to store mine upright this way, and I can very easily see the various size of punches that I have. So that's one thing. These I feel take up much less space in my craft room than some of the other punches that I've used in the past. So let's go ahead and move on with our inks. Again, I know my colors because Stampin' Up! Gives us the colors in the Designer Series paper, and so this one has Tranquil Tide, Real Red, Pumpkin Pie, and Crushed Curry. And to make this card fun, we're going to mix it up and use all of those colors throughout the card. For my stamp set today, I am using the Well Said Cling Stamp Set, and these are, it's actually 2 cases because there are so many sentiments in here. There's actually 51, that's a lot, separate stamps that you get in here, and individual words and then sentiments as well that you can mix and match with each other. And I think, and I'm a big believer in sentiment stamp sets. If you haven't heard me say that before, I'm sure you'll hear me say it again if you tune into my channel. I think that they're great to have on hand. This one also comes with a coordinating set of dies. Let me grab those. I didn't bring those over earlier here. But let's go and pull these up. I haven't got these. Usually I put these onto my magnetic sheets, but I have not picked some more up, so they're still on my paper. Now, I do like to, whether it's on my magnet sheets or I keep them on the paper, write the word ones down, because I just have a hard time reading those when they're backwards. Maybe that's not difficult for you, but it is for me, and I'm always going, which sentiment is this? So I just cheat and write it out there. So we've got several words in that die set, and then also some great little images that we have in there. I love this climbing vine, I guess maybe, or plant leaves, and this pretty little flourish that I think I'll get a lot of use out of this. And remember, when you buy the bundle, so you buy the stamp set and the dies, you save 10%. So good time to pick those up now during celebration, and also get some free items while you're there. Let's go ahead and get to stamping and making this card. So it's pretty quick and simple. I've got my pieces all cut, so let's go ahead and assemble the front layer here. And I've pulled out my trusty Tombow Mono Multi, and as you'll see, I use very little of that glue. It goes a long way, but I do like this glue because it gives me some time to shift my paper around if necessary to get it perfectly lined up. Smooth that down, and then let's go ahead and put our real red onto our front layer. This glue also does dry clear, so if you have some that you make a mistake and get it on something that you don't want it to be on, it will dry clear for you as well. So very easy there. We've got our main piece of our card put together. Let's go ahead and get our stamping done, and then we'll assemble the rest of the card. So I picked the Happy Birthday from the Well Said stamp set. Now I could go ahead and stamp these individually and do two different colors, but I chose to just go with one color for this piece. And I think I'm going to bring in the pumpkin pie for the sentiment on the front. Sorry about that bouncing there. Let me pick this up. I haven't found the best solution for really stable base for my camera. And I'm just giving that a little bit of time. Make sure that my ink soaks into the paper and don't rush it. Now we'll bring in our punch. You know, the other great thing about circle punches, so easy to line up when you've got a circle. You just get it right in the middle and punch it out afterwards. You don't have to worry if it's straight on your squares or your rectangles. Let's go ahead and slide this on here, and then we'll stamp the inside of our card. And we are just about done. So I picked the Hooray sentiment stamp to put on the inside of the card, and for that I just want to have some fun, and I am just going to scatter that sentiment around on the card. And when I clean my stamps, I like to use baby wipes quite often. So I'll bring that in, give that a quick clean off so I don't cross-contaminate. Let's see, let's put one up here. Trying to not be too even about them. That's something I struggle with. I am an accountant by trade. That is my day job, is in finance. So I have very much a tendency to want to have everything evenly dispersed and balanced out, which isn't always the best look for cards. So sometimes I challenge myself to get a little bit out of my standard, I don't want to say rut, that's probably not a good word, but my standard mode of operation there. So, and let's throw some of the Tranquil Tide in there for fun as well. So this gives us just a little bit of room to write our sentiment in there, but you know, guys are not always wanting to write long flowery messages, so I think we're okay on that one. Sorry to the men who love to write long messages on the cards. I know you're out there too. So I'm just going with the experience of the men in my life. And so before we put this down, this is going to cover over this base. Oops, it's going to cover over this piece. So that is going to lay right over there. And this is going to come and fold around the front. So before I stick this piece down, I'm just going to go and figure out about where I want that. And I kind of like it down towards the bottom. You could put it towards the top, put it towards the middle, completely up to you. It's your card. Change it up, make it what is pleasing to your eye. So I'm going to slide that down there, and I'm going to stand this up and just make sure my edge is lined up well there. Let's put our inside of our card on there. And, you know, you could obviously put a lot less of that sentiment in your card, or just put one up at the top if you'd like a different sentiment. And let's go ahead and put the happy birthday on. I do want to make sure that I'm kind of staying, let's see, over to this side, because that is going to hang over slightly, and so I don't want that glue to be right in that spot. And let me grab my bone folder, and I'm going to just give this a nice crease to help that lay down a little bit better. And there we have our Fun Fold Happy Birthday card. So this flap's going to open up, and you have your sentiment in there. I hope that that helps you with some ideas. Mix it up, do different papers, you know, add some bling, add some different sentiments. If you are having problems with your card wanting to pop up like that, just a real quick option. Let me grab, I've got one of my other little punches here, and let me grab this, and we can grab my favorite dimensionals, and I'm just going to stick a dimensional on there. I can get just enough on here so that that's going to hold that down, and then I could add another sentiment, cut out, let's see, just plain here. We're winging it here, guys, so thanks for sticking with me. I think I'm just going to cut out one of these steering wheels. And just do a little fussy cutting. It doesn't take long. If you notice, I am turning my paper and not my hand with the scissors, and that's going to get you the best even cut on your paper. At least that's what works best for me. And there we go. So let me know, do you like it better with this piece, without? Give me your feedback. Love to have you share some ideas with me. You can send pictures of your cards to me on my Facebook page, PaperStampInk, or shoot me an email at paperstampink@gmail.com. If you're looking for a demonstrator and would like to purchase the supplies that I have used in this project or other stamping supplies, I sure would appreciate your business, and I'll put a link to my store where you can shop 24/7 online below. Have a great day. Make something creative and share it with someone you love.